Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm Sherms.
I'm Sarah.
Yay.
Hello. Welcome back to our podcast.
Yeah, so we've had a very eventful and busy July.
Yeah.
So we just thought that, we haven't seen each other in like a month, I think. A month or so.
Ever since AUSG2, maybe?
Yeah, but even then we were like too busy with...
Yeah, we couldn't even talk. We were too busy.
Yeah,
so we haven't been like updating each other about our lives at all.
So we thought that, it would be a good idea to update each other, update you guys.
Yeah, kind of a catch-up session. And then maybe we'll answer questions later if we got time. Yeah, and not even busy July, busy June.
Yeah. I think because of prep. There was prep also.
June was the one with 2 events.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, our timeline is like it went out the window already. Yeah.
So I think the very first thing we did was AUSG 2.
That was the start of June. Was it 4th? Somewhere along the lines. Yeah, it was a one-day event at Suntec Convention.
But it was like, I think probably the biggest event ever since the pandemic.
Yeah, I think that was when probably Singapore announced that all the safety, not safety precautions, but like more like they are more relaxed on the PAX restrictions. At an event, like more people can come. There's no what's that called? Safe distancing anymore. Very little.
Yeah, pretty much. We have been juggling with like safe distancing for the past 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah, and 2 years, 1.5 years. Yeah.
So it was crazy to see the crowd come back. We were quite shocked also, I think. Yeah.
So I think this was the first event at Suntec. It was on the concourse level 3, and it was the first like convention back in Suntec City. So everyone was super excited to go. Yeah.
It was like, I think it's been such a long time since I've seen cosplayers and artists all in one area together. Yeah, it really like,
it brought back all the memories, man. Oh gosh. And since it was only a one-day event, it was on a Saturday, I think everyone came on the same day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was, because it's on the concourse, you don't have to enter the hall, right? It's basically an open space where everyone can gather. And despite the event not being so big, how many booths were there? Can you remember?
I can't really remember, but I just knew that there was quite a lot.
I think about 30 or 40 booths. Yeah, it's not a huge event, but the people that turned up were like in the thousands. Like,
I think we were all not prepared.
There was 0 square feet left. Like everyone, it was like a mosh pit, man. And I think it's the first ever event that I was packing like shirts and like serving customers for like 7 hours straight.
Oh yeah. We didn't have like a place to we didn't even have space to leave to get food.
Yeah, we didn't even had time to like have lunch or anything. Like all I had was one onigiri.
Yeah, which was crazy because like the last time something like that happened was like maybe AFA or
only
something.
Probably AFA. And even at AFA, the crowd dies down at like 6 p.m.
Yeah, the crowd was...
They just disappear. Like, where did they go?
But then like the crowd in AUSG was consistent
throughout. And I think we had to like overtime for an hour somewhere.
Yeah.
It's supposed to end at about 6. I think we had to end at 7.
We just stayed throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, so yeah, I was mad, but like it's so nice to see that.
Yeah, it's so good to finally have, a semblance of a con back.
Yeah. After 1.5 years. Yeah.
So then both of us, we met up with a lot of like our old friends. Yeah. So I think the interesting thing is that I see a lot of new artists also, like in AUSG too. And
I didn't have time to walk around, so
I also didn't have time to walk around, but from as in like fully walk around, but from what I've seen, so it's very interesting how like the the pandemic artists that are coming out, right, are like mixing with like the pre-pandemic artists, which I find very interesting.
It's like a new generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope to have more time to like venture and look at all the new artists coming up. Yeah, and then after USG, that was in early June, and then I think 2 weeks later we both had another like convention or art market, but separately.
For me, it was a week later.
Oh, a week later.
So I had Public Garden.
Public Garden.
Yeah, so for me, it was the first time I booth at Public Garden. I've heard of Public Garden before through like friends. I didn't get in the first time. Like I didn't receive a confirmation email, but I got it this time. So I thought that, you know, I try it out. And then
and for those who don't know what Public Garden is, it's a art market that focuses on original work.
Yeah, it's more original arts, crafts,
jewelry, clothing. So it's a bit more varied lah. It's not really like the anime convention kind of thing.
A lot of international brands. I mean, yeah, it's interesting because it is a totally different audience, a totally different vibe. But yeah, I think that was held in a convention hall, and I know boothing in a convention hall again is like
different.
It's like it's so good.
Different.
Yeah, it's so good to booth at a convention hall again after so long.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, the vibes were great. The people were great. A lot more people come up to me to ask, like, you know, do I do this for a living and stuff like that.
Yeah. You
It's
get
a different
a lot
crowd.
of these questions with the general. I would say Public Garden is more of the general public.
You can
You see families and
you can call them normies. Not like the normie vibes.
Not the whips. Yeah, and then actually I started Sarah Thursday at Public Garden. So I was actually boothing in Public Garden in 2015, 2014. So that was where I actually entered the boothing scene. It's more the art market. Yeah. You don't know, I never tell you before.
I don't think so. Like, I didn't hear about Public Garden until like
that was when they started
pre-pandemic.
So like we started, like I started Sarah Thursday and Public Garden started around the same few years. So that was actually like my OG boothing scene.
So it started with like original.
So I did original art, and then I always booth at art markets last time. So only when I started boothing at Dojima 2017, I think that was my first anime con. Yeah. Because
I didn't know that.
because I stopped going to Public Garden, and then like all the local art markets died down in 2017. Yeah, they were booming in 2015, 2016, and then it died down in 2017. And that was why me and my friend Paka, we were like, hey, why not we try out Dojima? And then the rest is history.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I think it was like one of the best decisions ever, because like the crowd at art markets and at anime conventions are so totally different. I don't know if you realize the difference.
Now with Public Garden I realize.
Right? What do you think the differences are?
There's a lot more explaining to do.
Yes, that is exactly it.
Yeah, because I guess for us, we are so used to like, oh, you know, you have washi tapes, you have enamel pins, you have this, you have that. But for people that aren't familiar, it's more like, oh, is this a pin? Where am I gonna pin this on? And I'm like,
what do you use washi tapes for?
Like anywhere? Yeah, so there's a lot more of that kind of questions, and like, oh, you do this for a living, or do you draw everything by yourself? You know, that kind of thing.
So yeah, there's a lot more talking to do at Public Garden and like general art markets, because the crowd is different in the sense whereby, like, you know, anime conventions, when people go to cons, they go to artist alleys, right? They already know that these are all artist merch. They know that the person behind the booth is usually the ones that create the art, and they're like selling it to you. But like at Public Garden, you usually get a lot of like families or like maybe slightly young, like young adults that are slightly older people who are not really exposed to like, hey, artists also can make a living. They were like, they are quite shocked. They will be like, oh, you do this full time. You know, you get a lot of these kind of expressions when you come to like communicating with these crowds in art market. So yeah, usually they will like, you have to explain like, oh, I am an original illustrator. I made this all myself. And then they'll ask like, oh, why is it so expensive? Or like they'll ask questions like that, and then like, oh, because I make this in Singapore, or these are all my own art. You cannot buy them anywhere else. So there's a lot of these kind of conversations. Whereas like you're at Artist Alley, you don't have to explain anything at all. People just they like, they buy, you know.
I think it's also because like, especially we're in Singapore, right? We're very close to a lot of places that produce things very cheap. So what ends up happening is that why should I pay like $12 for like a flower enamel pin, where I can just go on AliExpress and buy like a flower enamel pin for like $1, you know, $1 or $2. Yeah, so there's a lot of like, you know, explaining.
And it gets quite tiring. Yeah, because you know, you already set up the booth, you prepared for weeks, your merch you prepared for weeks, and you set up, and then usually you set up right before it starts, right, in the morning, so you're already quite tired, and then you have to answer all these questions, and a lot of times, right, you answer finish already, like oh cool, then they walk away, then you're like
it's very funny because like every time we booth at a convention or a market, right, we are always tired. we cannot leave the house for like a few weeks, but we will always be tired at the convention. Like,
okay, I just need to drink like a lot of coffee or like Red Bull. I'm usually okay, but I'll be a bit out of breath because you're like busy setting up everything. And then usually my supporters, they're very cute, they love to come like right on the dot when it opens or even earlier. So it's like, I'll be like, you give me 15 minutes, let me set up finish first. Yeah, so but it's very fun. It's still very fun. I'll never regret it. I just need a Red Bull if I'm damn tired.
Speaking of like people that know us, right? Like going back to the AUSG thing, we set up this this thing where like if you're a subscriber you can get like free stickers, right?
Hopefully you saw that.
Yeah, and then like, I mean, we met so many of you guys who like actually watched this podcast, and
back then we only had like 200 subscribers or less, and then so because we were boothing right next to each other at AUSG2, and then we were giving out free Holo stickers to subscribers, whether you're already subscribed or you're a new subscriber. And within that day, I think at least 70 of you subscribed and then took a sticker, and like we were so pleasantly surprised.
But I know that some of you guys subscribe, right? And then after that you guys took the stickers and then you all unsubscribe. You all think I don't know.
Really?
You all think I don't know.
But they won't be watching because they're unsubscribed.
That's true, but you know, I know.
I think it's okay lah, you know.
Yeah.
The ones that stay are the true ones.
Yeah, the OGs. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and speaking about subscribing and like having 200 subscribers and all that, like I just want to talk about like how scary it is to be starting something like this podcast from zero, because like it's so scary to start an entirely new thing with like 0 supporters. How do you feel about that?
I think I guess it's a bit I kind of have mixed feelings about it, because I think I'm not sure whether we explained, but like I have like sort of I have issues with how I am on camera.
Me too.
Yeah, and like I know, you know, like Sarah has like, you know,
voice issues.
Yeah, voice issues and stuff.
Yeah, like
so
getting deep here, but
but so like mixed feelings, because I definitely feel a lot more confident on camera, and like I've started
after this, right?
Yeah, then I've started streaming as well, and like I'm slowly putting myself out there on like IG stories and stuff. So like mixed feelings, like I'm very happy, but I'm also still a bit nervous, like is anyone watching, you know?
Yeah, so me too, because like every episode that you watch, right, we actually invest a lot of time, we invest a lot of energy, and we also invest a lot of money into creating each episode. You know, like we have to like get like all this equipment. Is thank God we have a great friend called Muhammad. He's the one helping us set up everything, and he's the one loaning us his camera, his lighting, this equipment, and he's the one editing for us. And we wish we could pay him more as well. But yeah, so it's like all this is really an investment of not only us but our team. Even Kayen, she's assisting us right now as well. So like sometimes, you know, you think about, we started this from zero, and although now we only have about like 300 plus subscribers, sometimes I think, is this worth it?
I don't even think we have 300. I think it's still like 229 something.
Really?
Yeah, at the time of filming this. So
I don't know, man. Yeah, so like it is very scary to think about the future of these and whether we can continue. And I think the most important is, I guess we need to focus on not numbers, but we need to focus on the motive behind starting this podcast. And I think the first thing that the first reason why we wanted to start this podcast was basically to inspire other people to you know, pursue their passion, and to show people that it's not impossible to become a full-time artist in Singapore. And although the numbers seem very small, I think we are making an impact on a select number of people, and it's very important to like remind ourselves of that law.
Yeah, especially since I think it was both AUSG and Public Garden. We have met like some of you guys who have said that you all watch the podcast, and then it's
it literally will make me cry, no?
Yeah. It's like it inspired them, and like, you know, now they're interested in boothing, and they've got like their first booth coming up soon. So it's very, you know, it's very heartwarming that what we're doing is actually impacting some people. Yeah. So like, you know, that's why, like, I mean, that's why we mention all this, because we've met so many of you in like June, July. Yeah. So it's all worth it.
Yeah, it's all worth it, man. Yeah, like I think it's very important. We keep talking about con event, right? But like actually meeting you guys in real life, right? And like seeing these actual people, like even if it's just a handful of you coming up to tell us that, hey, you watch this podcast from like the first episode, and you've been watching it consistently, and it inspired you to start something, you know, like that really almost curse, but like super,
you can curse you.
Okay, fucking touches us. like I will literally get goosebumps when I hear it. And so that brings me to this story. So I, after the two events, actually like just last weekend,
okay, we haven't talked at all, so I have no idea what like.
So you know,
what is happening.
I had a launch party at the Lucky Shop. So I was collaborating with Lucky Shop on a Jujutsu Kaisen, like a tribute capsule. And so we had a launch party at the shop itself. This happened like last Friday lah. So we had a launch party, people RSVP, they came down, they had fun, they came to chat, they came to support the collection. The story that touches me the most was these two supporters. They are called Vivian and Brian. I know you're watching now. Thank you for supporting us, right?
Hello.
Okay, so Vivian is the one that made these froggies.
Oh, okay, I remember.
Yeah, and then so they came up to me, and then they're like, oh hi, just want to talk to you for a bit. And they told me that like they watch every episode of our podcast. And like so they're a couple. And then Brian, now I can bring it up. He told me that like our podcast inspired him to start his own business. Yeah. So I was like, what? Like what? Okay, so this is yours. He made this for us. This
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then Kayen has one too. Come, Kayen.
Oh my god.
And basically they are like, okay, ASMR time. It's like keychains
Oh my god!
Like what are these called? What are these called? And you're obsessed with these things, right?
Oh, I love it! They're tactile. Are these tactile
And
switches?
Cayenne one, hers is pink and white because she loves pink. She says so
wait,
cute.
Is this Boba U40s?
Please answer in the comment, thank you.
I think these are Boba U40s, right?
So mine
This is tactile.
can stack, and then they are like you can't see lah, but they are cats on the front.
Oh, mine is like a
is a-
tanuki. Can I see
Okay,
yours?
so these are like 3D
Oh,
printed. I
cool.
guess.
Oh, it's like oh my god, that's so cool.
Right. Yeah, so all the best for your business. You can see the real life expressions and reactions to your work now.
Wait, I want to know what the switches are like because I'm very I have a very big interest in keyboards. I have my
Yeah.
own custom keyboard.
Can you
So,
explain
like-
what these are? Because if next time we're on Spotify, they can't see, right?
Okay. So so what these are like they are okay, the way this is made is a little bit
So basically,
Interesting.
Yeah, they're
So-
keychains, right?
okay, they're keychains, but they are actually keycaps.
Mm-hmm.
So
keyboard.
we will take a photo. So you see at the bottom there is like this crosshair, right?
Mm.
So this can be attached to
Can
a switch.
come
Okay.
out one.
Okay, let me take. Okay, so this is what you see, Sarah.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so this is what you see, right? When you
Uh-huh.
take off a keycap.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you see.
Uh-huh.
So you can literally put this on top of your keyboard
Mm.
like that.
And they, oh my god, they can ta.
Yeah.
So your home keyboard you also can use this.
Yeah, so I can literally put this on my keyboard. I'll take a photo and put it here.
Cayenne's in shock.
So
I'm in
what
shock
this
too.
is also is it is also a switch tester.
Mm-hmm.
So that means okay, you notice that these are switches. So you notice that they all have different colors.
Oh.
Okay, so there are different kinds of switches. So you know when I talk about mechanical keyboards, right? There are, you know, when you say mechanical keyboards, the very first thing is like, you know, the very clicky, the very noisy, click, 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 click. But there are actually that what is making that sound is this switch. So sorry to get like super nerdy, but I'm like super excited.
It's okay, I'm also learning.
So the thing is that there are a lot of different kinds of switches. So there is this kind where it's like there are three main ones. One is linear, the other one is tactile, and one is clicky. The ones where you guys like usually hear is called clickies. So this one is tactile, where you can feel like there is a bit of bump when you're typing. And then the other one is linear. I don't know if there are any like.
I think he
like
gave me
linear
one
ones.
clicky one, like very loud one, and one not so loud one. This one's the loud one.
Okay, so I think this is a linear. I might be okay.
What's this podcast coming to?
This is linear. This is tactile.
You need to
This is linear. This is tactile. I mean,
can hear.
okay, this is linear. This is tactile.
What?
So you can tell. Okay, now feel it. That's linear.
Yeah,
Linear
the
means-
usual keyboard.
Linear means that the pole is all the way down. There is no like notch to make the and then now you touch this one.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's the difference.
crispy.
Yeah. So that's what switches are.
We went on a tangent here.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
wait.
I'm like, thank you so much. I'm so excited for this. Like,
And he made
it's
it in
not
our
obvious
colors,
enough.
and he wasn't very sure of your color, so
Wood
yeah,
or beige.
or like orange,
I'm
right?
so happy.
Thank you. And like whenever I stress now, I'll just yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna
yeah,
put this on my keyboard.
This is from Vivian, and this is from Brian. Thank
Yay,
you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So
Okay, I have to like.
I
put
think
this away.
these are the people and these are the encounters that really inspire me to continue like this podcast. Yeah, because like although like you know seeing numbers it can be like super like a bit sian, right? But to see actual live people and to actually inspire like actual people to start their own business and to see that we're making an impact, even if it's on just like 10 people, I think it's worth it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a bit I'm a bit in shock at like, you know, gifts and stuff, because I usually don't get a lot of like this sort of like personal personal gifts. So I'm really very thankful.
I swear I almost cried, but yeah. And then like Vivian also made me like this bouquet of
I know
it's there.
It's there.
I don't know
if you can see.
Yeah, it's a bouquet of flowers that was like hand crocheted. So like crazy. That must have taken like hours and hours. So yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you so much.
Emotional
Really.
right there. And I think that's just the whole reason why we started this, and the whole reason like even though we are like super packed for June and July, we still like took the time out to rush out all our own orders, like our own store opening, our own Patreon, and we made time to spend a whole day here like doing this podcast. So
sorry, I'm like
nerding out.
No, I'm just seeing what the stitches are. Okay, as you can tell, I'm like very heavy with this.
Put it away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
So
next?
I think you also did another event, right?
Before this
Studio?
launch
No,
party,
sorry, Art Studio.
and right in between this launch party that just happened and AUSG, I also had Art Market. Art Market was end of June.
I know. I mean, I wasn't very. I mean, they are new event. Like
They are a new event, but
I know that
think,
they had like some event before that, right?
I think they held it at their own studio, so it was like a smaller event. And I think those were mainly for cosplayers to booth. So I think this event, a lot of people were kind of excited for it because like very little like conventions allow cosplayers to booth. So I think Art Market everyone was looking forward to it because like there were a lot like more high profile cosplayers or even like new cosplayers that were boothing at the event. Maybe 50% were cosplayers.
I think also because like AUSG there were cosplayers, but it wasn't a cosplay event.
Like they're allowed to partake in the event, but they weren't behind the booth selling their merchandise. So
but I felt that the reason why I didn't go for Art Market was because I felt that it wasn't the right audience for me.
Understandable.
And there was a lot of like cosplayers.
It's I would say although the audience is still the anime convention crowd, a lot of them were there for the cosplayers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So maybe like the art side it won't do as well, but it still did pretty well for me. And like it was quite interesting because there were like performances as well. I felt like the performances like were very well vetted. Like they sang really well. And they did a lot of like old school songs from like Katete Sakura and whatnot.
He's the nostalgia boy.
Man. So I think I went there is mainly because a lot of my mutuals were boothing, and I just wanted to see them. And then like I just wanted to have fun. Basically.
Because I know that from my understanding is that there was a bit of a mix-up with the venue and everything, but the turnout was the turnout was still
surprisingly like really really good. It was still very good.
I think people just really really want to cosplay somewhere.
That's true. So I'm really happy that my like cosplay friends got the chance to booth, and a lot of them I think it was their first time as well. So it's just really nice to see them, and then like they know how much we suffer because it's really not easy boothing. It takes a lot of like both mental and physical energy.
Especially since I think it used to be quite rare for like cosplayers to booth, but then it's now, definitely more common.
I think it should grow because it is how to say it. there is market for it right now.
And
Yeah.
like maybe in the future we might have like a cosplay guest that will booth.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I find it very fascinating because for me, I don't put myself out there very often. So when I see cosplayers who literally cosplay and sell photos of themselves, right? Like I feel it's something that's totally like something that I'll never do. I'll never think of. Yeah. Like I used to cosplay, but now I don't. But if you were to tell me to sell my photos, right? Like
Shy.
I mean it's a bit shy, it's a bit like who will buy?
Yeah.
Who will buy it, you know?
I mean,
So
I guess if you grow an audience online, and in a way, I feel like cosplay, if you think about it, right, is like it's kind of like us doing fan art, right? So it's like they are creating the character in their own style, but using their own image, whereas we are creating the character with our illustration style. So I think it's just different mediums. And if you think about it that way, they are selling like their own version of their favorite character. Yeah, then I think it's very interesting.
I think it's a little bit it goes hand in hand with the reason why I don't do fan art also. It's like I can't, like my mindset is I can't just justify the I don't think I'll do the character justice, that kind of thing. Like who will buy it? But you know that's just me and my boomer mindset, you know. It's definitely very different now in this day and age, like, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there definitely is a market for that, and like it should be growing lah.
So it'll be quite interesting, like to hear from, you know, if you have like a cosplayer that you really like a local cosplayer, and then you want to hear her or him or her talk, you know, you can recommend.
Hopefully we'll have a cosplay guest next time. It'll be very interesting to hear from their perspective, because I never cosplayed before or in public. So
I only know like the old cosplay community.
15 years ago.
Yo, I'm not that old. Okay. Okay, but
almost
maybe,
there.
okay,
Almost
maybe it was
there.
50. Oh no, it is 50
I
years.
told you we are that old.
For me, other than that, I've been focusing on my I mean, we both open
Our online shops.
Yeah, our online shops are open. I haven't
Just
opened
open.
since like 3 months ago.
High five.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time I closed my online shop for 2 months. It's because, like, you know, June there were 2 events, and then in July I was focusing on this launch party that I was very, very nervous for, because it's my first time doing like a launch party at a like physical shop. And so, like, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen like all the behind the scenes. Like, I really spent so much time making props, and then we had this huge 12 outfit shoot for the lookbook. And then after the shoot, I was busy like editing everything, making promotional like materials, and like printing posters, making props.
Yeah, so you were like painting. You were painting like teeth.
So I was making like a Sukuna temple.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I'll put out a photo of the temple that we made for the shop. Yeah, so
What happened to it after that?
it's still there.
It's still there?
At the time of release, I think if it's still in August, you can go down to the Lucky Shop Plaza Singapura. The Sukuna temple is still there. So you can
go and
see.
take photos with it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still there, and like I think it was worth the effort lah.
That's cool.
So that was why I had to close my online shop for so long. And I was focusing on June's and July's Patreon.
Oh yeah, we were kind of behind on Patreon for a bit. Yeah, both of us. I think it's just because like for me, I started my Patreon as a way to pass time because of COVID. So now that conventions are coming back, I'm like trying to figure out how to juggle both like my pre-COVID stuff and my post-COVID stuff. Like they're all just coming together right now. So I'm like trying to figure out a way to, you know, juggle both, which I'm still trying to find a way, a method. I don't know.
Get my face of defeat.
Yeah, there's a reason why the both of us paused our patrons for August.
Yeah, so we both paused our patrons for August because we just cannot keep up anymore. And especially since like, you know, they eased the safety measurements and like all the safe distancing stuff for events in June. Now that all the events are back, I don't know how we are coping with online shop, Patreon, events, podcasts,
and then all our future projects.
We have so many future projects, guys. Like, it's, yeah, look at my brain just slowly dying right now.
Yeah, so for me, I while you were busy with like the Lucky Shop stuff, I was busy putting together the last few pages for my art book, which I have been working on for like a year. Like the last time I got a quote from the printers was like a year ago exactly.
We went together.
Yeah, like the quotes weren't valid anymore, so I had to ask for a requote.
Guys, like everything is rising. The cost of everything is rising. My rent is also rising, and it's just crazy, guys.
Yeah, like shipping costs are rising. Both like overseas, like if we like for me, I manufacture a lot of stuff overseas, so like shipping costs overseas have increased because of, you know, like recent times, and then
making the stuff itself is increasing,
and then
printing.
even from Singapore, shipping things out from Singapore overseas is crazy. So yeah, everything's increasing, but our
price cannot increase. Yeah, so guys, if you ever see our prices go up slightly, please understand, because like honestly, like I've tried to like make my price consistent for so many years, but I tell you that cost is always increasing, and the way we are combating it is by trying to sell more. That's it, right?
When we're also in the middle of like inflation.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we're in the middle of inflation right now.
Property is going up so much as well. Yeah. And
so yeah, artists, please price your stuff like accurately.
Yeah, if not, you will really suffer next time. Yeah, and like the way we survive is really just to try to sell more and try to promote ourselves better, try to grow. But when it comes to margins, right, from cost to our retail price, like it's just getting worse. Our margins are getting worse, to be honest.
Yeah. Especially like because I was discussing with Sarah about like the art book that I was doing. I can't say like real numbers, but basically my art book, I mean, when we do art books, we want to do like special finishings, bindings. So what ends up happening is that the cost rises every time. Like, you know, if I want a rounded corner, that's like one rounded corner is already like in the three figures. So two rounded corners is crazy. So
and guys, you can tell that we are very extra. So when we make art book, it's gonna be very extra. So, and then the cost also gonna be very extra.
Yeah, but I'm doing my best, and then I'm working with like very, very good printers, like they're award winning. So it might be on the pricier side, but I can guarantee you won't have an art book that is of that quality and like the way it is made is definitely, it'll be like,
and they're a local printer, and why we are going to them is because they are known to push boundaries. They are not afraid of going creative. Like, you know, a lot of art books is just, you know, the usual perfect binding, hardcover, whatnot. But this printer, they are very willing to explore like different creative processes with us and making the book unique. Yeah, and that's why the cost. We need to think about it.
So hopefully by the time we post this, I might have a sample. No, I won't be done with the Kickstarter just yet. But like I hopefully should have my first print proofs. And even the print proofs cost money, like
a lot,
like three figures, like
because
high three figures.
Because like printing a master copy of an art book, you need to do it digital printing. So it's just page by page, and they're like manually piecing every page together, and that's why it's very expensive.
Because like for it when I go into production, they'll be using machines to bind the
and
pages.
the printing will be like mass produced, so it's like faster.
And then but then for like sample copies, they are literally hand binding the pages together. So yeah, that's like taking up and eating up most of my expenses right now.
Yeah, so
but hopefully I plan to have it in I plan to have the Kickstarter and everything up in October. So yeah, I'll talk more about, I think I can talk more about my artbook like then. But like I know you wanted to do an artbook before me.
yeah, so I was the one. Was I the one that gave you the idea?
No, I think it was
I just told you about it.
I think we both wanted to do artbooks. So we were both looking for printers.
Yeah,
and then
like, you want to go down to the printer with me?
Yeah,
that was a year ago,
okay.
guys. And then it's damn stupid because I was about to name my artbook 8 for the 8th year. And this is my 9th year, and my artbook still not done. And it's probably gonna be done only next year. So it'll be a 10-year anniversary.
You
thing.
actually had more pages than me, like going in when you went to go and talk to the when you go and talk to the people.
Maybe 70% done, but it's just there now.
And then now I'm like 100%. I'm like ready to go.
So support Sherms one. Mine will be out so soon next year, guys. Please look out for it because like I've never done an art book before, and because I don't churn out art that quickly. If you know me, I only do like 1 or 2 artworks a month, that kind, for my Patreon and whatnot. So yeah, I have finally gathered enough art to make an art book. And like what I like about people's art book, like what I like about like the art books that I collect personally is knowing the artist. So not only like just flipping through like, oh, it's just art, like just, you know, they just paste their art full frontal and then there's nothing added to it. Like what I like about art books is the personal touch. And also I'm a very curious person. Like I'm very intrigued by people's lives. So if I like a certain person, I kind of want to know everything. Not everything, okay, that sounds so stalkerish, but I want to know about them. I want to know what makes their brain tick, what gives them motivation to draw, and what gives them motivation to pursue art, and like why they draw this style, like, you know, just like all the thought processes, or like even just like what makes them who they are today on a personal level, not even art, you know.
Okay, so the thing about my art book is that my art book has no text. So like
no text?
Yeah, only like a thank you at the end. But because I can't, it's the same with like applications, like when they're always like, oh, describe, you know, yourself a little bit, or like about you, I always draw a blank. So like with art books, and my personal preference also is that we are all very visual people, so I end up looking at the art more than the text. So
we're like different spectrums.
So it might be a good thing or bad thing that my art book has like no text, but I filled it with, every single page is laid out like specifically to how I like it, and like I think Sarah has seen a lot of previews and stuff.
It's very cute.
Different.
It's like very like handmade looking, because like the concept of your book is like a journal, right? Like it's someone's diary, so it's like there's sketches, and then
I think you just revealed, but yeah, that's basically
I'm helping you sell your art book.
Okay, since since we're gonna like reveal it soon anyway, but yeah, my book is basically it will be very personal in a sense where like it definitely looks very raw, very like what you say, like a journal, but it'll be very visual. Yeah, and like a scrapbook journal of all my art, basically, like just an art dump.
Yeah, so yeah, because you are creating your artwork according to what you like and your preferences, and for me like, because I love knowing about the artists themselves, like for me, my art book, I really want to add in a lot of like description, like what is this art about, what motivated me to create this project, and like the story behind the illustration itself. All those I'll try to keep minimal, and I'll still try to design it in a way where it's still very visually aesthetic. Yeah, and not just like white pages with like a black copy, you know. So yeah, that's what I'm working. I think I have most of the layout down. It's just a lot of the writing that takes a lot of time, and it takes up a lot of like brain juice as well. So that's why I'm like stuck on it. And I also wanna, I don't know if you know like J-Rock magazines. Yeah, they always have this, like they'll interview the band members, and then they'll have like the question, and then the band member will say this and that, and like I like that aspect, and I love reading interviews, so I kind of want to make my own one as well. I want to like do a FAQ session, and then I also want to show like the studio, like behind the scenes. I just enjoy sharing about my life. Yeah,
it's very interesting because like you want to share about your life, but
yeah, just as an artist, not only my art.
Yeah. But then for my take on like art books, right? I, as you all know, like I like to do immersive things. So I like to keep myself like
That makes a lot of sense.
away.
Yeah.
So that I can tell a story.
That's so cool.
In a sense. Yeah. So my book, my diary in itself, the concept is basically you found a diary of somebody who has been living in the yokai world for a while. For a while. Yeah. So that's the main concept of the
so
book.
Cool. It's kind of like a animal encyclopedia about yokais.
Something like that, but it's just more like the daily life of someone. Then like, oh, today, you know, they went to a fast food restaurant, and then they so kept the fast food menu, you know, that kind of thing.
So fun.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Hopefully it comes out well. But the production price is crazy. That's why I'm doing a Kickstarter. So
but
please
support
help
her.
to fund.
Please, I will be part of
my
the
dream,
funding.
It's my dream to have an art book. So
I will
please
pledge.
help
I will
me.
pledge. Yeah, so yeah, mine, I kind of want it to not only be an art book but like a biography, because like you know, it's 10 years of hard work. So like if I want to do it, I have to make it like just like everything. It has to have everything inside. Yeah, because who knows when's the next time I'm gonna make an art book. Yeah,
I guess that's that particular reason is why I didn't include my my life stories and stuff, is because for me I don't want to date my book. Like I want to keep my book timeless.
Okay.
That kind of thing, so that like, you know, in years down the road, like you can still get this book, and then it's still like, you know, it's still compared to like, you know, like old magazines and stuff like that, you know, it's like 2007, and you're like, oh, but it's all different now. But I guess it's different for you because those are J-Rock magazines. But for you, it's an art book, so I guess it's different.
Like for me, I just like to store memories. So in a way, this is like storing my journey up to this point.
It's like your diary, basically.
It's also like just following my journey and seeing like what I've done over the years, and just sharing how I started from like nothing. And how I made it here so far. Yeah, so that is the time consuming part that I haven't started on.
I guess I'm afraid to sit down and really think about that kind of thing also. That's why I'm just like, okay, I just slap on my art, let's go.
But
I'm looking forward to seeing your book.
Me too, I'm looking forward to seeing yours. In a way, I think it's so interesting because we are very, very different in that sense, but like I love how we can share about our thought processes and like respect each other's way of thinking and creating, and it's like knowing a fresh perspective is so important because like I learn from you and you learn from me, and we are just trying to improve ourselves. Yeah,
like, it's like how after I talked to you and I went back to my art book and then added in a thank you note. Like,
really?
Yeah. I was like, maybe that's the least I should do.
A slight personal touch. Yeah, okay then. Yeah, I inspired the thank you message, guys. Yeah, I think going from that, I wanna kind of touch because like a lot of times when I get questions or messages, right, they are always asking like how do you avoid burnout, or like art block and stuff like that. And I think it's very it's a right timing for us to talk about that, because we are so spent, guys. We are so tired, but we are still working on so many projects. Yeah, and like there's so many like backlog and like things that we have under our belt that we haven't shared as well. Yeah,
I think like that's the reason why we took a break from Patreon, is because we are honestly on the verge of like
die under aligning.
we are on the verge of like burning out a bit, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a good time to chill.
So what is burnout to you, Wait?
Burnout to me is just like when I really can't juggle things anymore, or like I dread having to do art. That kind of thing. Like for me, burnout isn't really art block. Like I treat it as two different things.
Different as well.
Yeah, burnout for me is just when I'm like really overwhelmed with what I have to do, and I'm just like I can't do anything
Just
anymore.
literally
Like
can't
I
anymore.
have sketches here that I can work on. I can do this, I can do that, but I'm just like I'm done. I'm like shut off. Like yeah, that's burnout for me.
For me, burnout like is just literally having too many things to do and not enough time to do it. And then that causes me a lot of stress. Yeah, and I don't know if you know me, but people who know me, right, will know that I can do a lot of things at one go. Like I can manage my time very well, but when there are too many things to the point that I cannot manage it, that is when I start getting very stressed. Yeah.
I think that's roughly what I was describing also. It's basically like I have so many
Just
things.
too much on your plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, because like we were talking how like when the pandemic was happening, no events were happening, we had to do extra things to keep ourselves busy. And that's why we started this podcast. And that's why we do Patreon. That's why we are working on Kickstarters, and
online shops.
that is also why we had time to think about our art book last year.
Oh yeah, that's true. If it wasn't for like the pause in conventions, right? I think we
wouldn't even have started our art book also.
exactly.
I think. Yeah, so then now that events are back, it's just so many things on top of each other. And so many things to juggle as like one-man artists. So yeah, that's why we stopped. Like in order to manage burnout, you need to recognize yourself, your energy levels, and know when it's about to hit burnout, and you have to prepare for it ahead of time. That's what I do, I guess. So it's like, because we had 2 events in June, and I had the launch party, had photo shoot, and very close to the launch party, I was feeling extremely nervous. And then that was when I knew that like I think it's about to be my limit soon. And that was when I decided, okay, I'm not gonna rush Patreon. I'm just gonna pause it for a month, even though I'm losing like literally like 4-figure sums. I'm just gonna pause it. I'm not gonna rush it, because my patrons deserve better. Like they deserve like my full 100%.
Definitely.
And then meanwhile, I will focus on opening my web store that has been closed for 2 months. So, and then August, I'm not taking up any events. No events.
Yeah.
No more. And I'm just gonna try to enjoy like more like personal outings, nothing to do with work. Yeah, and just kind of recuperating myself back up, because September we have arcade. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was about to mention. You said no events in August, but we have an event in September.
The start of September.
I think we kind of like pretty much caught up on everything, right? Like
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so we will talk more next episode. It will be a very, very interesting one.
What's on it? Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know the...
Yes, I know the...
Okay.
Hopefully it'll be interesting. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
Thank
watching,
you.
for listening to us.
And also just want to thank, like really, really thank everyone who like like listen to our podcast regularly, and like please, if you do listen and you do see us in real life at events, please tell us, because we will really appreciate it. If you want to see me cry, just say you watch our podcast now. Because at the end of the day, you know, we just want to inspire others to do what they like for a living. And if we did that for you, like, please tell us. You know, it's also inspiring for us.
It won't feel like, you know, we're just talking to a wall.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see you in our next episode. Bye.